You guys don't believe me, do you? I told you this is the best time to buy a Ram half ton. In the last video I did, I showed you guys they have insane incentives. They have 15%, 12%, and I believe 8% for like the lower trim levels. So if you're looking at like a Tungsten, Limited, or Rebel, they have 15% off MSRP. Laramie, Bighorn have about 12% off, and I think the Tradesman has like 8%. And of course the Warlock, so on and so forth. But regardless of it, if you're in the market right now, this is a time to start looking. Now I get that some of you guys are like 15% off ain't that great of a deal. And I wish you guys would post up what you actually pay for your trucks. I'm willing to bet you some of you guys are lying, but it's not just the 15% incentive from the manufacturer. The dealers can participate too. So you can get potentially 25% off on these trucks. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. What I'm going to do in this video is obviously show you the discounts from GM, Ford, and then I'm going to show you the Ram trucks, because I'm telling you, they are killing it right now. I don't know what's going on with Ram, but they are definitely giving the trucks away. So let's check it out. Now we're going to start off with GMC, because I feel like GMC tends to be the truck that people don't get the biggest discounts on. Just being honest here, based off of this website, I'm on Jerry Steiner's website. They're showing up to $8,000 off their top trims, like the Denali Ultimate, which is pretty good. There was a time when these trucks were MSRP or even higher, and now you can go in, walk in, get a nearly $8,000 discount. Now $7,978, which gives this a total price of $80,741. That doesn't seem like a big discount, right? I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't. But just something to consider. Now, if you go down to the Denali, you know, they have a $81,000 MSRP. This one does at least. And so you're getting those trucks around $74,507. Now, again, I don't think that the discounts are as big on these, but you can get these Denalis for around 70 grand, I would say. You can probably go in there and get a little bit more money off. As far as the AT4 goes, AT4 has around a $7,000 discount, and they're showing just under 70 grand. I will admit to you, I'm having a little bit of sticker shock as I'm looking at these prices discounted, because I'm not used to really seeing these trucks so expensive. But yeah, they are very, very expensive. Now I'm going to go ahead and click over to AT4X, because I might have skipped over some of these. These are not as heavily discounted as you can see here. Well, at least this one is not, but these have $7,800 discount, $7,600, $7,500. Okay, and then let's go ahead and check out the Elevation, because these are typically price leaders. So with the Elevation, they have just under $70,000 MSRPs. Total savings on these are around $6,500. You could definitely call my buddy Frank if you want. See if he can give you a better discount. I think that if I were in the market, the Elevation is probably the trim level to look at because of what you get for the money. Now, I'm sure you guys would like to see a Pro model, right? What's the cheapest truck you can get? Here's a two-door long bed Sierra 51,350, and they're showing $47,529. So there's also a trade assistance too of $3,000. So you can reach out to Frank, figure out what that is. I would say that overall, these prices, you know, for a GMC truck that is pretty darn good. As I said, I don't normally see big discounts on the GMC pickups. Up next is Ford. So this is Ken Garff Ford. You can reach out to my buddy Ken over there. I'm going to put everyone's cell phone number down below if you want to reach out to them separately again. Ford trucks, I would say, are probably neck and neck with GM trucks. So I'm talking about GMC, that is. And you can see right here, this is a Platinum trim. There's no Platinum Pluses. I haven't seen one of those trucks in a long time. And so right here, what is that? $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 off on this Platinum. Now, unfortunately, they don't give you a tab here for total savings. I would like to see every website have that actual number, because there might be some people out there looking for a truck and they want to see what the best possible deal is on every trim level, and that kind of breaks it down for you too, because sometimes the incentives are a little bit heavier. Like for example, if you're looking for like the STX, maybe you're looking to buy a truck for your business. Well, the STX may have more rebate compared to like the higher trim levels in some cases, so you can get a better discount on those trucks. And again, some cases. Now the trimmer trucks, for example, have pretty big discounts. So you see right here, you have that dealer discount of $4,000, and you have an additional $3,000. That's $7,000 off of a trimmer. So hopefully you guys see these MSRPs. So if you can, $84,550 on this Platinum, $78,999, and then this trimmer is $80,920, $74,369. So again, pretty big discounts here. Real quick, let me just show you a Lariat trim. We would do ourselves an injustice because there's 78 Lariats here. So we're gonna see there might be some bigger discounts on these trucks. And oh my goodness, we hit the jackpot, guys. This is it right here. If you're in the market for a Ford F-150, not too shabby. That's $8,000 off. And I mean, I will say you can probably reach out to Ken and see if he can give you a little bit more off on that dealer discount. But $3,000 retail cash, $1,000 SSE down payment assistance, and then again that dealer discount. So this is the jackpot Lariat trim. They have 70 something of these trucks, so you might want to reach out. Even if you don't live in the area, these guys probably will cut you a deal just simply because of how heavy they are on inventory on just the Lariat trim pickups. Looks to be the same for all of them too, about $7,000-8,000 off on those. And then let's go ahead and move over to the XLT, because there's 68 of these in stock. So, and then we'll hit the STX next. Oops, my bad. I thought I clicked it, but I guess I must have deselected it. There's only 18 STXs, so they probably don't need as much help on those. But oh wow. Oh, this has dealer accessories. I'm sorry. Nope, that's not the one. So let's look at this XLT here. So yeah, 4, 7, 8, 9. So $9,000 off on XLT. So this is the actual jackpot, $9,000 off. And on this truck here, it does have a dealer accessory on it. I'm not sure what that is. You can reach out if you'd like to see what they've done to that. It probably has an upfit. So this truck here has $4,000, $7,000, $8,000 right there. And last one is the, well, we'll look at the XL2 just in case. I don't want to single out that because there's a bunch of those there too. So for STX, we're looking at $3,000, $3,000, that's $6,000, $7,000. That's about what it is, right? $7,000 to $8,000. And again, with the dealer discounts, you probably can get them a little more aggressive. Here's a Lobo STX right here, 55,354. They're not showing any incentives on this truck, however. They just have a dealer discount on that. So may not be a great time to buy one of those. Now let's go ahead and move over to the Chevys. And then I saved the best for last. I completely forgot to show you guys the XL, my bad. So there's only $3,000 showing on these trucks. These are all sold probably, or pre-sold I should say, simply because they're fleet. And they don't put the discount on the prices because they already have a predetermined price with the person who, or company who owns these trucks, and they're just waiting to pick them up. So reach out to Ken. They might have some available for you. So if you want to check them out, be sure to. Now, 2025, this is what I normally see pretty often. This is a 25 Chevy Silverado Trail Boss right here, $55,449. It was originally $67,000 even. Now this truck, is that $12,000? That is $12,000, right? Yep, $12,000 off. But remember, this is a 2025 and it's a courtesy transportation vehicle. That ain't bad. If you can lease that truck, I would lease that truck because that's especially if you can get those incentives with the lease too. Up next, this is a 2026. Ain't as good as that 2025, and that's the point I guess I see here is, you know, $71,885 was MSRP, $59,884, and then here's another. This is a 2-door, you know, long bed truck, $47,280 down to $37,729. Work truck model here, that's $58,030, $48,479. Now, there's probably not a lot of high country pickups here, but they do have some LTs. I would say that these are pretty good discounts for sure. And I'm sure if you were to reach out to a dealer, they might be able to give you a little bit more money off on some of these pickups, especially something that's old age unit. That's what some people do. Some people like to go into the dealership and find those sweet spot trucks, right? Now they have RST galore. So here we go. You have 6,000 here, 7,000, and actually 7,750. So almost $8,000 off, like this RST. Here's a 65,960 MSRP down to 59,159. So yeah, these are definitely a good bargain right now. And let's go ahead and see what these ZR2s. They have a ton of ZR2s. So as far as ZR2 goes, there you go. Now, these trucks are $76,000 down to $69,789. You know, so pretty big incentives. So all in all, I guess what you're seeing is these are pretty good discounts before you even start negotiating. Okay. Now let's go ahead and move over to Ram, because I'm telling you, this right here is insane. So they have 15% below MSRP, which is an average discount, not including the dealer discount. Now I did it by total savings. Okay. Obviously the tungsten is going to be the first one up here. So you guys see right there, this truck has, this is the red one. This truck had a $93,350 MSRP. You have $5,860 worth of dealer discounts plus the $14,002. That's nearly $20,000 off. Here is right next to it a Laramie. Now this looks to have the sport package on it, so you have painted bumpers, you know, you get leather seats, a lot of other nice features. It has an $80,355 MSRP, so it's not a base Laramie. This thing has what? So I'm just going to do the math really quickly. I'm going to give you exact $19,230. Truck was $80,000, now it's $61,500. Say what you want. I get what you guys are saying. Oh, these trucks are overpriced. You can't even probably find a used truck for these kind of numbers. They just screwed the used market with these incentives. And I'm betting you right now they will not have these incentives next month. These incentives are only probably for July. And they might extend it, but I'm willing to bet you it might not be for the full month of August. Here's another Laramie, $54,419 from $69,875. So obviously when you're taking 12% and taking off a higher MSRP, you're going to get a bigger discount. So I would venture to say that's the truck I would go for. Here is a Rebel. Had a $76,375 MSRP. This truck does have, I think, the 15%. Yeah. So again, $11,456 plus $3,954 with a total discount of $15,410. And listen, you probably could get a little bit more money off. At this dealership, you're going to reach out to Ezra. You guys have seen the last couple videos I did with him. Reach out to him, text him, say, hey, can you do any better on whatever truck you see here? Here's another Rebel, 687 55508. Let's go ahead and just go specifically to Bighorn, because I'm sure you guys would like to see Bighorn. Okay, they have some Express, Warlocks. We'll look at those next. But again, this is the biggest discount you will see on a Bighorn. This is a night edition truck, 65,555, and they come pretty well equipped. Adaptive cruise control, premium lighting. I think it has front rear parking sensors, so it comes really decked out. So 65 to 52,973, insane. Now I'm gonna combine the Warlock and the Express because there's not a lot of inventory on these. These incentives don't obviously reach out to like the RHO Raptor trim levels for like the Ford, for example. But you guys saw the ZR2 and the AT4X did have pretty big discounts. I'm willing to bet you most dealerships aren't really discounting RHO unless they have a lot of inventory. Now this is an Express. This truck does not have a big discount, so 8%. So this is a good time to, and this is where Ram is going to kind of screw themselves here, because I would not buy an Express or a, let's see, let me make sure I don't speak wrong, yeah, or Warlock. There's not enough discount on these trucks, right? I mean, if these trucks, I mean, this one might be a good deal, right? $49,400, but you're going to take this Express and you're going to compare it to a Bighorn with the night edition package to see, because that truck does have the 12%. So in that case, you might do yourself an injustice by going with the Express when the Bighorn might be a little bit more off. Even if it's more expensive, it might be more advantageous because of the bigger discount, 8 versus 12%. Here's a Warlock here, 57,970 down to 53,332. I would skip Warlock and Express right now. I would not even look at these trucks. I would be going for Bighorn. I mean, you guys see right here, it shows they have 51 Bighorns. They have 15 Laramie. So the Tungsten, they had about 8 or 9 at the dealership. They only have 2 right now. I'm willing to bet you when they drop these incentives, people went in there and bought those trucks because they're like, this is a good deal. So don't listen to people who probably don't have any intention of buying a car. I would say if you're in the market, or if you were kind of in the market, this might be a good time to look. As far as the tradesmen go, again, same story here. They have some nice dealer discounts. About, what's that? I mean, let's call that $8,000 off, basically, right? That's pretty good for a tradesman, right? 52.4. But you guys just saw, one more time, let's look at the Bighorn. You know, the cheapest Express we saw was 49 and some change. Here is, one more time, 52,973. Why would you buy a lower trim level when you can get one of these trucks? You know, I mean, if you don't care about painted bumpers and blackout wheels, you can get there on some of these other Bighorns, right? These trucks still have nice wheels on them. I mean, these trucks are under, well, this one was here. I don't know what this is, but, you know, it has a big discount, 12% off, so it's under 50. So you can get these trucks with chrome bumpers. A lot of you guys say you still have the chrome. Here you go, chrome bumpers. So as I said, I know that some of you guys don't think these are good discounts, but you can still negotiate off of these prices. So I think this is the perfect time to at least consider buying a truck. So be sure to subscribe to your channel if you haven't done so yet. Again, I feel like right now, if you're in the market for a Ram truck, this is the time. If you're in the market for anything else, I would use Ram's incentives and try to see how much more money you can get off on the Chevy, on the GMC, on the Fords, because you're not going to get close to these Tungsten and Limited. I didn't show you guys the Limited here, but the Limited was 20 grand off too. And I think in some other dealerships, I think I might have saw 24,000 on some of the incentives because of the dealer discount. So there might be more room in here for extra discounts. You probably could get a Tungsten right at that $70,000 mark. So be sure to reach out to the people I told you to in the video. See you guys soon.